The next important chapter in business law is discharge of contract. What do you mean by discharge of contract? Discharge of contract is nothing but termination of contract, terminating the contractual relationship between the parties. It is the process by which contract coming to an end. It is called as discharge. How the discharge will take place are various ways of discharge of contract. There are 6 modes of discharging a contract. Number 1 is by performance. Number 2 is by mutual agreement or consent. Number 3 is by impossibility of performance. Number 4 is lapse of time. Number 5 is operation of law. And number 6 is breach of contract. First, you see performance. Performance you can divide into two: actual, attempted. Actual performance, attempted performance. Already we have seen in the last chapter. Then the agreement. Then impossibility of performance. Next one is lapse of time, operation of law, and breach of contract. Now we will see one by one. Number 1 is discharge by performance. Actual and attempted performance. Performance is doing a work in the contract. Actually doing means actual performance. Attempted is promisor is ready and the promisee is not ready to accept. Then it is called as attempted performance. By this way, contract comes to an end. Next, discharge by mutual agreement or consent. There is the parties to the contract. They can come to a mutual agreement to finish the contract. By following ways: recession is cancelling the contract, novation is substitute of one contract for another, merger is combining the two contracts, alteration is changing the terms in the contract, remission is acceptance of the lesser terms in the contract, then waiver is giving up the things in the contract to other parties. This is called as discharge by mutual consent or agreement. In all these cases, one contract will be closed and another contract will be formed, like that. So the old contract will come to an end. This is called as discharge by mutual consent. Next one is the discharge by impossibility of performance. That is discharge by impossibility of performance. That is, if the obligation in the contract is impossible to perform, the contract comes to an end in the following ways. That is, if the contract are not able to do, then the contract will come to an end. Number 1 is initial impossibility. At the time of entering itself, if you know that is impossible, then the contract will come to an end. Whereas supervening impossibility is at the time of entering it is possible, and afterwards if it becomes impossible, then it is called as discharge by impossibility of performance, that is supervening impossibility of performance. Examples were destruction of subject matter. You are entering into a contract to buy a house from A, and after some time, if the house is burnt, you cannot buy the house because it is impossible. Death of the parties after entering into the contract, change of law after entering into the contract, outbreak of war between the countries. This is regarding discharge by impossibility of performance. Next, discharge by lapse of time. Lapse of time. In any contract, the period of limitation is only 3 years, or there is a period of limitation for all the type of contracts. If the period is over, then the contract will come to an end. Discharge by operation of law. Due to operation of law, contract can be terminated by way of death of parties. If the parties died, contract comes to an end. Merger of contract. But if the two contracts are combined, then the old contract will come to an end. Insolvency of the parties. If one party has been declared as insolvent, automatically contract comes to an end. Discharge by breach of contract. Breach is nothing but breaking the obligations or violating the rules in the contract. There is non-performance of the contractual obligation by one party, then it is called as breach of contract. There are two types of breach. One is actual breach and another one is anticipatory breach. Actual breach is it may take place at the time when the performance is due or during the performance of the contract. If you are not going to perform at the time when you want to perform, if you are saying that I am not going to perform this, then it is called as actual breach. Anticipatory is you are going to declare your non-performance well in advance. It is called as anticipatory. It occurs when a party to the contract declares the intention of non-performance before the performance is due. This is called as discharge by breach of contract, actual and anticipatory. The next aspect is the important questions. It is very important question, the various ways of discharging the contract. If you are interested in my videos, you can subscribe my channel, you can like my channel, you can give your valuable comments and share to your friends of other colleges. Thank you.